Well, Ron, it is so great to see you. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Good morning, Jeff, and it's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, and I'm really excited to talk about this. We have talked on the network about managed accounts. You've done some deep dive on managed accounts, done a lot of research. What are some of the key takeaways from your research?
Well, managed accounts is a large and growing business segment of all DC record keepers. People have different and strong opinions on both sides. Uh, People like the concept of personalization,
Sure.
improved retirement outcomes. And the skeptics talk about the cost of the program and whether there are more cost effective ways to accomplish basically the same goals.
I know personalization, sorry to interrupt you. Personalization is such a big trend in our business these days, and everyone's looking for an opportunity to personalize what the end user, that participant, receives. Sorry to interrupt. Go ahead and continue your
Oh,
thought.
yeah, I think to a large degree, the DC industry is a commodity. And so wherever the business can show value and differentiation, they're looking to do that. And personalization is one of those topics getting a lot of attention today. In some of my prior corporate lives, I've often been asked uh, to research pitch books or new product innovations uh, with a skeptical eye, even when you take into account managed account fees. And Morningstar assumed 40 basis points in their research, which
Hmm.
is pretty reasonable assumption.
Yeah.
Even when you take fees into account, you are provided with favorable outcomes really across all ages, all incomes, all types of DC plan designs. And whether you are a target date fund investor or what they call a do it yourself investor. So it sounded too good to be true. And that's when I started uh, looking into things. And whenever I read someone else's research, I'm always focused for statements that raise questions. So I started digging in and I said, I'd really like to know just how big a role increased contributions play. Is it 51% or is it 90%? And they didn't specify that. So that makes me a little curious.
Mhm.
And then the second part is improved asset allocations uh, with not a whole lot of improvement if you are a target date investor, but more improvement if you are a do it yourself investor across all age segments. At least 25% of the population are 0% invested in equities, which is not a very favorable comment on the DC industry. If that many participants are that conservatively invested for what should be a long term savings goal. Uh,
And we've been talking, not to interrupt you, but we've been talking about it for a long time, right? People investing in money markets, stable value. Maybe they're investing in a bond fund. When you're 30 years old, as you know, and probably the audience knows, you want to take advantage of the growth in markets. I mean, compared to what's going on today in the Dow and the S&P 500, it just
yeah.
lights out. So that makes a lot of sense. And let me just ask you, Ron. I mean, look, when you read research, you got to read it with an eye. And I'm not saying there's not a. I don't think people are looking to mislead. I think that at the end of the day, they're looking to create research that supports their thesis. We see this
Yeah.
in lots of industry related research, right? I mean, people try to prove, kind of work back, and they use the research almost as quasi marketing.
Yes. And, anyone I remember as a kid, PF Flyer sneakers helped you jump fences until you actually try to jump a fence. Then it was not a favorable outcome. So people have been spinning, and I'm taking credit for the term spin search, where research and marketing kind of overlap with one another. To give you an example, Morningstar says that the biggest benefits go to younger, newly hired people.
Mhm.
And I said to myself, gee, if I was trying to pitch more managed accounts as a QDIA or as a hybrid that maybe kicks in at 50, I would sure like to be telling people that everyone benefits under all plan designs.
But let me ask you, what are some of the takeaways? Say I'm the fiduciary. Say I'm the investment advisor on the plan. I'm the fiduciary of the plan. I'm on the committee. Uh, what are some of the key takeaways here? Do I need to do more due diligence? Because a lot of times managed accounts are just kind of a bolt on. They just say, during the RFP process, during the selection process, the advisor sometimes doesn't even look at it. So is the takeaway here, do a lot more due diligence, whether it's Morningstar, Financial Engines, one of the other litany of products that are out there.
Yeah, I think, the question in my mind is the squeeze worth the juice. And there is a Prudential study that has talked about plan sponsor reluctance to implement managed account until the fees get below 10 basis points. That's the example people use. And so I think plan sponsors intuitively know that it is an expensive service for what it gives. What it gives is promoting increased savings. And record keepers have been promoting increased savings for decades for free. So you don't have to pay 40 basis points a year for what should be a nudge early on in someone's career, and maybe periodic nudges. The other thing is more diversified portfolios. If you're in a target date fund, you are in a pretty well diversified portfolio. It's really the do-it-yourselfers, and particularly the uh, very conservatively invested participant who would greatly benefit from diversity. Record keepers have been doing that through the education process for decades as well. The fact that so many people are 0% invested in equities shows that they're not doing a great job. But I think there is an ROI uh, for managed accounts. And it's not been publicized because managed accounts are sold as kind of a squishy benefit. Participants, they're going to get better retirement outcomes. They're going to feel better. They're going to feel more confident. But I'm an actuary. I'm a numbers guy, and I'm looking for the numbers. So where I would like to see things go, and I think consultants certainly have this capability, is to make a measure of the ROI of putting in managed accounts, compare it to the ROI of an expanded education program, a personalized education program for either low savers or poorly diversified people. Stack that up against what managed accounts offers.
Well, Ron, it sounds to me like a lot more due diligence is needed. You're going to continue your research. Hopefully, you'll be able to come back on the network and we'll talk more about it. But I think the takeaway here is that more due diligence may be needed. Ron, we're going to have to leave it there. Great to see you as always. Thanks for joining us, and we look forward to having you back on the program again very soon, sir.
Thanks so much, Jeff, for having me, and hope your readers, your listeners, got some good benefit out of this.
Well, thanks for watching, and don't forget, we're back again tomorrow morning with another great expert and another great topic. You can tune in right here Monday through Sunday at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Time. And don't forget to subscribe to our daily newsletter, The Morning Pulse, for all the news in one place, delivered directly to your email box. Check it out at our website.